What's up, Endgame family? I am back to do another Underdog draft, Best Ball Mania draft. If you've been following us all off season, you hear us talk about Best Ball Underdog all the time. Going to be doing these drafts all the way up until the start of the season, really. And I'm really going to start hammering these things because the goal is to get 150 of these drafts done by the time the season starts. I'm definitely behind, but we're trying to catch up here. Also, if you like the pick'ems, which I know a lot of you love the pick'ems, I love the pick'ems. They actually have lines up for the NFL. Look at that. NFL week 1. Is this week 1? I think this is this, yeah, right here. NFL week 1. Look at that. Baltimore KC. You already got pick'em lines up for that. So if that's your thing, check it out. And of course, if you haven't joined Underdog yet, make sure you do. And when you do, sign up and use our promo code Endgame because that's going to get you a free pick that you can use on those NFL pick'ems. But it's also going to get you up to $250 in bonus cash. Let me throw that banner up. There you go. There you see it down there. So get a little extra cash in the account there. Never hurts anybody. But today we're not going to do any pick'ems. Too early for me for the pick'ems for NFL pick'ems. But I am going to do a Best Ball Mania. What's up, Robert? What's up, Hassan? All right, so here we go. Best Ball Mania. If you want to try to jump in with me, here's your 5-second warning. 3, 2, 1. And here we go. All right. Looks like we're only waiting for one more person. So we'll see if it fills up. And we'll see what spot we get here. All right. There we go. It is now full. And I'm at the end. All right. I haven't had a pick at the end in a while. Should be interesting. I kind of like the end. Robert, 10-man league. No, this is so Robert, this is 12 teams, 12 man. It's best ball. If you're not familiar with best ball, that means you only draft. You draft a team of 18 players. You start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, no kicker, no defense. Every week throughout the course of the season, the computer is going to set your best lineup. Like say Monday night after the Monday Night Football game, it's going to say, okay, this was your best lineup. You got X amount of points. And then over the season, all those points add up. The top 2 out of these 12 right here that you see on my screen right here, the top 12 here advance to the next round, and then they resort you and then advance again. And finally, week 17 is the finals. I think there's like 200 something teams or maybe 500 something teams. Winner takes home just a cool $1.5 million. So big money on the line here for that. And yes, Other John, it is half PPR. Yes, half PPR. So it's a little different because you do have to think like, okay, I can't go to the waiver wire, right? I can't say like, okay, I'll just draft whatever and like a few running backs. And if I need to, I'll go to the waiver wire. No, you can't do that. You got to make sure you have depth at each position because this is your team. This is your team for the whole year. So, all right, draft is underway. Of course, like I said, I'm at the 12. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up on my phone because I prefer to draft on my phone. I think it's easier this way. Let me see. Active right here. All right, here we go. Got the draft up. So, yeah, other John, highly recommend it. It's a ton of fun. And look, they have this Best Ball Mania. It's their biggest one. It's $25 buy-in, but they have other ones like puppies that are like $3, $4, $5, smaller prize pool, but smaller tournaments. So, a lot of fun. Good way to actually practice for your real drafts as well, because this is real money on the line. I mean, people are putting their real money on the line here. So this is kind of what you're going to see. Although Justin Jefferson's ADP is falling and falling. AJ Brown has started to jump up. I've noticed this. AJ Brown at the 7 now. Seems surprising to me. Slippy Flicks drafting in a 10-team full PPR league tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you what, Slippy Flicks. We have if you've watched any of our, well, first of all, good luck. I hope you smash your draft. Number 1. Oh, hold on, I'm about to be on the clock. Oh man, a Puka Gibbs start here would be incredible. Wow, Puka Nacua still on the board here. Yeah, I'm going Puka Gibbs fairly easily here, without much hesitation. Yeah, Brees at 10 is a steal. Slippy Flicks. We also have an app. If you go in your app store, Draft Lane. I don't know if you've seen it in our videos or in our live streams, but it's like we worked on this algorithm for months. It's like having Pierre and I there drafting with you. So if you want to check it out, Draft Lane in your app store. Yeah, I don't understand JJ's drop either. I think people are just worried about the quarterback situation. But I mean, come on, he was a monster with Nick Mullins. Why can't he be a monster with JJ McCarthy or Sam Darnold? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't really get the Puka drop. I don't get that. Maybe it's not so much the Puka drop as much as the Marvin Harrison rise. Maybe that's what it is. Instead of maybe it's not a Puka drop. Maybe it's just a Marvin Harrison rise. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, look, if I'm at the turn and I can get Puka and Jahmyr Gibbs all day long, I'm taking that all day long. And this is one of the reasons why I really like the turn, honestly, because if you look at the players around the turn here, like you're probably going to get one of Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe even AJ Brown. And you're probably going to get one of Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, if you want to go like wide receiver RB. Or you could even go with two of those wide receivers. Like I just feel really, really good about the players. End of the first, early second. And then I feel like after Chris Olave, like Debo, what's going on? So Debo's ADP must be shooting up just because people really think like Ayuk's getting traded. My goodness, Debo early second now? Crazy. But yeah, once after Chris Olave, it's kind of like, okay, I don't feel like Nico middle second feels early. Even Saquon, Mike Evans feels a little early. Smith, I mean, I like these guys. I don't dislike them, but it just feels early for them. So I almost prefer the end of drafts right now. Yeah, Debo Samuel. I mean, yeah, people. Well, I get. Oh, well, I didn't even notice Brandon Ayuk went early second, but Debo early middle second. That's gotta be people just thinking like Ayuk's getting traded, right? Slippy, what do I think about Marvin Harrison 18? I think that's great. I mean, you can see here he's going like late first round. If you can get him at 18, I think it's fantastic. I would take Marvin Harrison over Devontae Adams, to be honest. I don't understand Devontae Adams this year. Like, I don't get it. Like, he wasn't that good last year. It's not like he's getting like some massive QB upgrade or anything like that. Marvin Harrison's, we know, a phenomenal talent. He's got Kyler Murray. So I'm taking Marvin Harrison over Devontae Adams pretty easily. I mean, other John, you say Harrison can't move up past St. Brown or Wilson, but yeah, I mean, look, if we start hearing camp hype about how good Marvin Harrison looks, like, yeah. Yeah, Slippy saying, I agree. Minshew's like fine as a QB, but he's not on the Kyler Murray level. And like the all the talk is that it's Aiden O'Connell's job. It's Aiden O'Connell's job. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Adams will be fine. Like he'll be okay, but like, why are we drafting Adams at almost the same ADP he was at last year? Like you went to draft, like if you were going back to like the beginning of 2023 and you already knew the outcomes, you wouldn't have taken Adams in the second round. Why are we still taking him in the second round? All right, on the clock here. I don't usually go tight end early, but my goodness, when Sam Laporta is on the board early fourth, I'll take that value. I'm gonna go Zay Flowers, Sam Laporta here. By the way, who do the only downside to taking Zay Flowers here, even though I like him, is it's almost impossible to stack him with Lamar because there's almost no chance Lamar will make it back to me. But um, I still like Zay Flowers. I think he's got tons of upside. Other John, yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe people do think Adams will get traded to the Jets. But even then, are you going to feel like, okay, yes, he's back with Aaron Rodgers, but now he's competing with Garrett Wilson. Like, So, okay, his targets will be better, that's for sure, but they'll also be significantly less. So I don't even know if it's an upgrade for him, honestly. Yeah, JSC Debo in the second. That's got to be people overreacting to Brandon Ayuk thinking he's going to get traded. There's no way. Yeah, JSC, you're right. It's because you're right. It's because he's Devontae Adams, right? It's the name. It's the name recognition. It's like, yeah, it's like Stephon Diggs. It's like these guys, the name recognition. So I understand that, but I mean, like, if you look at it objectively, it doesn't really make sense. Why is Pittman so high? I think Pittman's going to be great this year. I thought Pittman had to play with Gardner Minshew last year, and he was mostly great. Gardner, like the Colts only had 18 passing touchdowns last year. That is anemic. I look with Anthony. I don't know if Anthony Richardson's hitting 30 to 35 passing touchdowns, but he's probably going to go well over 18. So I could see Pittman finally getting 8 to 10 touchdowns this year and definitely having more value. And at the end of the third round, like when you look at Pittman versus say like Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, like I mean, maybe you could argue like Pickens, Cooper, Dell. Maybe you could argue they have maybe more weekly upside, but I think Pittman is going to get you a way higher weekly floor with decent upside as well. So I'm okay with Pittman there. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, honestly. If Ayuk, Gabriel asking if Ayuk gets traded, what do you think about Kittle move? Yeah, if we're gonna see, I mean, we might even see it today. I don't know. I haven't done a draft since Sunday, so maybe Kittle's ADP is already shooting up because we're already seeing Debo Samuel's ADP shooting up. But yeah, if Ayuk gets traded, Debo's ADP goes up, Kittle's ADP goes up, Ricky Pearsall's ADP goes up, everybody's ADP goes up for sure. But that's if he gets traded, which I really don't think is going to happen. Slippy saying since he's draft tomorrow, would you avoid Ayuk and Debo? No, but I would if I was drafting tomorrow or right now, which I am, I would treat the situation like Brandon Ayuk is a San Francisco 49er. I would not downgrade Ayuk and I would not upgrade Debo or Kittle or anybody. I would draft like Ayuk is still a 49er. Now, one thing I will say, and I'm going to talk about this on tomorrow's video, I would definitely be targeting Ricky Pearsall late in your draft. I don't know how competitive your league is, but if it's not a very competitive league, nobody in your league has maybe even heard of Ricky Pearsall, but the 49ers drafted him in the first round. He's a good player. I think he's NFL ready. If the 49ers do decide to move on, Ricky Pearsall is going to get a big bump and he'll basically be free in your draft. So I would definitely pick his name as one of those guys that you want to draft late if possible, for sure. And look, and if Ayuk does, and I talk about this in the video, if Ayuk doesn't get traded in week one, Ayuk's out there, you just drop him. Drop him and pick somebody else. He's going to be one of your last picks. Big deal. Big deal. People always freak out like, oh my gosh, I drafted this guy in the 13th round and he's terrible. Who cares? Drop them. That's what the waiver wire is for. Like, yeah. Anyways. Let's see. Bobby Digital got stuck with the 11 pick. I love the 11 pick. I already talked about it. I love this end pick. All right, hold on. I'm coming back up on the clock, so let's look here. Do I just go like I was thinking about just going Mahomes and stacking with like Rice or Worthy here. I think I'm gonna go Godwin. Go God. Anthony Richardson is tempting, but I'm gonna go Godwin, James Cook here. So now we can potentially target Baker late. Man, Bobby's saying you got no. I don't like the 9 at all. I would honestly rather have the 11. Like I said, like you could potentially get two of Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harris. Like, okay, you probably don't need to pick Marvin Harrison in your regular drafts, but you could potentially get two of AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, like maybe Brees Hall. like, yeah, I just think that the picks at the end are so good this year. I mean, like if you want to move up and there's none, like if you're just going from 11 to 9 and there's nothing like, hey, I have to give up like a pick later on, then go ahead and do it if you want. But I like the end. I like the end. All right. I feel like yeah, James Cook's ADP is kind of like fallen, I feel like. Yeah, I'll happily take James Cook in the 6th round. Like that feels like very good value. Ah, Slippy on ESPN. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get it to work for ESPN. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. All right. Well, if it's not competitive, Ricky Pearsall, I think if you're drafting right now, is borderline a must draft, like with one of your last picks. Because again, if Ayuk gets traded, if Ayuk gets traded, Ricky Pearsall is going to go in the single digit rounds, like no doubt about it. He's not going to go like in the top 5 rounds, but he's going to go in the single digit rounds. So get him now while he's going like basically free. And like I said, if Ayuk never gets traded and he's there week 1, you drop him, you move on. Like stop freaking out. Like people need to stop freaking out about their late round picks. Like all you're looking for is for one or two of your late round picks to be a home run. Like last year, if you grabbed Nico or Devon Achan late, it didn't even matter who the rest of your late round picks were. Just having those guys was good enough. It was good enough. Like stop worrying about getting all your late round picks right. Go for the upside. All right, Andy asking who's the one in Carolina. Oh, he's asking JSC. Deontay Johnson is definitely the one in Carolina. Like by a mile. By a mile. All right. How would I rage Curtis Samuel, Demario Douglas, and Jamison Williams? Oh man. Okay, good question. Actually, this is a tough one. I probably myself go Curtis Samuel first, Jamison Williams second, Demario Douglas third. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Curtis Samuel, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if any order of these guys, to be honest. But I think Curtis Samuel is going to have a role in that Bills offense. I don't think Curtis Samuel is going to have like a monster year, but I think he's going to have a solidified role. Like they're going to have a plan for him. Jamison Williams obviously has tons of potential, but I wasn't big on him coming out of the draft. I haven't seen anything to change my mind. Maybe this will be the year. And I think Demario Douglas is one of those guys. He's fine. Like I think Demario Douglas is a guy I would feel better taking in a redraft league where like he can be a bye week fill in, or if I have injuries, I can get by with him. I just don't see a lot of upside for Demario Douglas. All right. Is there any way? I mean, if Kyler falls to me here, I can grab him and just try to stack him with like Michael Wilson later. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And then I know we just talked about it. Jameson on the board, Curtis Samuel, but man, I just feel like the running back, there's some good, like Zamir White. This feels like too big of a value here. I'm gonna go Zamir. All right, so let's try to look for Michael Wilson later. Try to make sure we get him. There we go. We'll star him there. Is it me or yeah, drafting on Underdog is very addicting. It's a ton of fun. That's why I say if you haven't tried it yet, and Bobby Digital, I don't know if you did the pick'ems last year. The pick'ems are a ton of fun too. Underdog is just great, just great, and they're always coming out with like new drafts, different price points, different formats, always doing specials. It's just a ton of fun. Underdog is just a ton of fun. It's like I like to say it's like I can't say the word because we're not allowed to because it's technically not, but it's a word that starts with G. But for people who aren't like don't want to like sit there and like be a shark and like, you know what I mean? It's like casual. Like, I don't want to say like cat, but it's like fun, right? It's casual. Like, you don't have to be like super like into it. Like, as long as you know a little bit, it's a ton of fun. Yeah, I agree. Underdog's great. I mean, again, Slippy, if you want to go from 1 to 3, go for it. That move I don't really hate because I at the 3 you're gonna get CeeDee Lamb or Tyreek Hill probably. If you're just really like, hey, I just really don't want to take CMC, okay. And I don't think there's a big difference between the 1 and the 3, to be honest. So yeah, if you want to go from the 1 to the 3, go for it. Like, again, as long as it's just a straight, like you're going from the 1 to the 3, like not like, hey, go from the 1 to the 3, and then later on you have to, like, you know what I mean? Although in this case, you would probably get something in return since you're giving up the 1. So it's probably okay. But yeah, if you want to do that, I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine. I was gonna do a video about drafting from the middle, but the way this draft is going for me, I I would be very happy with this draft in real life so far. Maybe I'll do from the end first and use this draft as an example. Is Lad McConkey capable of posting last year's Keenan Allen's numbers? Is he capable? Yes, but I mean, okay. Well, look, Keenan Allen, yeah, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. Remember, he did that in like what, 12 games because he missed the last 4 or like 13 games. I don't know what it was. Is he capable of doing that? Yes, but man, those are big numbers for a rookie. I know we've been spoiled lately with a lot of rookie wide receivers who've just come out and been awesome from year one. Those are big numbers. I think he can hit like 1,005 plus touchdowns. 1,207. I mean, is it? It's not like impossible for him, but I also feel like it's on the higher side. But I mean, where does Lag go in these drafts? Pick 69, but I'm guessing like in more casual leagues, he's probably going to go closer to pick 100. It's my guess because who really knows who Lad McConkey is in casual leagues. Oh man, I am loving this draft so far. I get Rashid Shaheed here, who I love. I just can't. I just can't. I don't. I have trouble taking Lockett. Uh, I mean, he is the best value. I'll go Lockett. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of Lockett this year, so I'll take a shot on him here. Take a shot on him here. Yeah, let me see. When is let's see. Kyler's bye is week 11. Let's see. Stafford 6. Okay, can't do Baker. Okay, so we're good there. Okay. Yeah, Chargers definitely going to run more, so less passing. Yeah, I think 1,005 plus is doable for McConkey. Which, look, for a rookie wide receiver that you're getting probably going to be outside the top 70, 80, maybe 90 picks, that'll be great. Yeah, Mahomes Hollywood pair is great. I feel like Mahomes is a pretty good value this year. I mean, I know he still goes as um like as a top 5 QB, but I think this guy could approach 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns this year with that receiving group he has. JSC drafting Tyler Lockett in 2024 feels like John Dotson in 2023 with Chris saying, I'm just not going to draft it. Yeah. I mean, I thought about like Josh Palmer there. I just don't know what the upside is for Josh Palmer. I think he'll be fine. I don't know. I'm not against Josh Palmer there. Somehow he's still on the board. Um, I thought about Gus Edwards, but it felt early for Gus or Javante, so I don't know. So, hey, we got a new member, Damien. What's up? Welcome, Damien. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Slippy, yes, I would definitely draft Pearsall over Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright, although I like him, I liked him as a prospect, right now to me is nothing more than a handcuff for one of Mostert or Achane. I would be really shocked if Jalen Wright even gets drafted in a 10-team league. Like I'd be very shocked. So I would grab Pearsall just in case. Again, Ayuk gets traded. If we're heading into week 1 and Ayuk's going to play, you can drop him and pick up Jalen Wright if you want. So, but yeah, I just think Jalen Wright to start the season is just going to be a handcuff. And again, don't see him being drafted in a 10-team league anywhere, unless it's like really deep rosters with deep benches. All right, let me pull up my week 17 schedule here. Cardinals play the Rams. That's perfect. Although I have Kyler. But I also have Puka. So I already have the bring back there with Puka potentially. And then Saints play the Raiders. Yeah, Mostert is great value. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh man, I would love to get Wicks here. All right. Let's grab Wicks. Would have been nice to get Chase Brown. All right, there's still time for Michael Wilson. Let's go with Rico here. Been talking him up. Okay, Shane asking what's a big deal about bring back. Good question. So this is something that started like with draft, like DFS thing that DFS players do, like DraftKings. So the theory is this. Let's just look at it from like a DraftKings lineup where it's like any Sunday and you can pick your team, obviously within the salary cap. Let's say, for instance, like you're like, I want to stack in weeks, like let's say it's week 17 and like Cardinals are playing the Rams, which is actually what's happening. So I have Kyler Murray, and let's say I had Marvin Harrison, or let's say hopefully I can draft Michael Wilson later, maybe Greg Dortch if I have to really late. So the theory is like, okay, if that game is a huge high scoring game, like if Rams Cardinals ends up being like the highest scoring game of the week, like both teams score 4 or 5 touchdowns, right? Just highest scoring game. Then the other team, then obviously it's great to have the QB and the wide receiver for a team that's scoring a ton of points, more than likely, right? That's the stack, right? You got the Kyler Harrison stack or the Kyler Michael Wilson stack. Theory is if Arizona scores a ton of points, Kyler should get a ton of fantasy points, and hopefully your wide receiver gets a ton of fantasy points too. But the bring back is usually the pass catcher from the other team, because the theory is, let's say the Cardinals score 40 points that week. Well, that means the Rams are probably having to throw the ball a lot to keep up or to come back. Therefore, the Rams wide receiver, in this case Puka Nacua, who I have, should put up a ton of fantasy points. So that's the Cliff Note version of the bring back. Now there's different bringbacks you can do. But typically it's the wide receiver one. So like if you're going to do a DraftKings lineup in that example, you would probably do Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison, and then Puka Nacua as the bring back. So you would stack Kyler and Marvin Harrison, bring back Puka, and you would hope that that game goes off for tons of points, and therefore Puka, Kyler, Marvin Harrison also score. Now you can also put like a running back in there. You probably wouldn't want James Conner if you thought the Cardinals were going to be losing. You might do like Kyron Williams, things like that. But that's getting a little deeper. But the bring back is the wide receiver in that game. The reason why it's important in this tournament is because all the big money is in week 17. Like the goal is to make it to week 17. If you advance to week 17, that's where all the big money is. And then you just want the best shot you can to win that week. So it's just one of those things like stacking, roster construction, just another thing you can use just to kind of like give yourself an edge over the competition. What are my thoughts on breakfast with waffles, scrambled eggs, and syrup? That's fantastic. All you're missing is bacon. Just missing bacon. Would I rather have CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson? I'd rather have Anthony Richardson for the rushing upside, but I'm totally fine with CJ Stroud. I mean, he's safer than Anthony Richardson, but I like that rushing upside. I want that rushing upside. So give me Anthony Richardson. All right, hold on. I got to get to my pick here. When is Sam Laporta's bye? Week 5? All right. I wouldn't mind Hunter Henry here. I like Henry this year. Where am I at? We're at 1461. So probably go 168 or 2682. I'm guessing. So I might just go Hunter Henry here. Call it a day at tight end. And then do I want Geno for the stack with Lockett? Who do the Seahawks play? They play the Bears. I don't really love anybody on the board here. I got 12 seconds, 11. All right. Bit of a panic pick there with Jermaine Burton, but I don't hate it. All right. We got Glenn. What's up for the super chat? Thank you so much, Glenn. Needs to keep 5. Standard scoring. Okay. AR, Olave, Waddle, Flowers, Moore, Collins, Brees, Kyron, Kelsey, Kincaid. Okay, so I assume this is like you just keep 5. Like there's no rounds, like I keep this guy in round whatever. So I'm just gonna do a straight 5. I think in standard scoring, you have to keep Anthony Richardson. A quarterback who can give you 30-point upside in standard scoring is like unbelievably valuable. So I think you got to keep Anthony Richardson. I think you have to keep Brees. He's a first-round running back. It's standard scoring. You got to keep Brees. I think you got to keep Kyron. He's still a stud running back. I think you got to keep him. So that's 3. Man, wide receivers are just so. But I mean, really, tight end. I probably go Olave and standard scoring. This wide receiver is just so useless in standard. But I mean, you need touchdowns. You need touchdowns in standard. I might go DJ Moore and Nico in standard. Honestly, they might have more touchdown upside. I think you could consider one of the tight ends too if you want to keep a tight end. But I think Anthony Richardson, Brees, and Kyron are musts, and then you can just take whatever 2 you want. One of the tight ends, I think I slightly prefer Kincaid to be honest, but if you want Kelsey, that's fine. And then or like 2 of DJ Moore, Nico Collins, Kelsey, or Kincaid, depending on what you want to do. Hope that helps you out. Standard scoring is just tough. It's because it's so touchdown dependent. Some people saying Burton is the next Puka. I mean, maybe if Jamar Chase and T. Higgins get hurt, like I like Jermaine Burton. I think he's a good player. I think he has potential in that offense, but yeah, I mean, let's not forget Puka Nakua. Wow, I cannot believe Michael Wilson went right after me. Like 20 picks ahead of ADP. Okay, we're gonna have to try to get like Greg Dortch later or something. That's I almost took him there, but I'm like, no, this is way too big of a reach. Apparently, I was wrong. Yeah, I don't think Burton's gonna be the next Puka. All right. Well, I'm only taking one more wide receiver this draft, so let's go Bucky Irving. I don't love him. All right. Chuba's the best value again. Don't love him. All right. Now the goal, assuming I don't get sniped for these last two picks, is going to be Greg Dortch and I think Derek Carr, if he makes it back to me. Would I be shocked if J.K. Dobbins looked like he didn't ever tear his Achilles? Of course. Like, would anybody not be shocked? Like, look at the Achilles guys. Cam Akers. Is he still on the Vikings roster? I don't even know. James Robinson, not even in the league. I don't think. He might be on a roster somewhere, but I mean, not really in the league. Who else? I guess Deontay Foreman is like the best example that you have, but it took Deontay Foreman like 3 years post Achilles to be anything again. So, okay, Shane saying I thought you hated Carr. All right, first of all, I don't hate anybody. I like to I like to have fun with it and get and rant about Derek Carr and get angry about Derek Carr. It's kind of my shtick. It's kind of fun. But the reason Carr is because I drafted Shaheed, so for the stack there, I do like to get QBs stacked with my wide receivers if possible, but also, and I've talked about this. I talked about this in Sunday's video. I think I talked about it. Maybe it's just Sunday's video. Maybe I also talked about it in tomorrow's video. So you guys obviously don't know because they haven't come out yet. So I can't blame you. But last year, the Saints ran the least amount of play action in the NFL and the least amount of pre-snap motion. Their offense was literally like you and your buddies in the backyard, like line up there, 1, 2, 3, hike, and then everybody just run. Like that was their offense. This is like, come on, man. It was horrible. They got a new OC, Clint Kubiak. They're going to run way more motion, way more play action. And the stats on that are, I think I always mix them up. I think when there was play action, passer ratings go up on average 14 points. And when there's pre-snap motion, they go up 10 points. I could have those backwards. Check on the video, but whatever, you get it. And when they use both on the same play, passer ratings on average across the NFL are over 100, which is elite. Now, I don't think Derek Carr is going to be elite this year, but I think the Saints are going to be one of those offenses, especially the passing offense, that surprises people. Like maybe they're just middle of the road, but that will surprise people. And for Derek Carr, who's going basically free in drafts, I think that's worth it. But the main reason I'm going to draft him, assuming I don't get sniped here, which I could, is because I did draft Shaheed and I can stack him with Shaheed. And since I already have Kyler, I don't need, like, I'm fine with 2 QBs. Yeah, was Pete Carmichael your Gabriel? Was Pete Carmichael the OC last year? The last couple years? Once Sean Payton left, did he take over as the OC? Okay. Never been so excited to get Derek Carr. And then we're going to grab Greg Dortch for the stack with Kyler. All right, and we are done. Yeah, Pete Carmichael is terrible, but they brought it. Don't worry, they got Clint Kubiak now. He will rectify that. They will definitely. Not saying they're going to be one of the best offenses, and I still have concerns about the O line. And I don't know if you saw today, Gabriel, but Ramzik, how do you pronounce his name? The offensive lineman. Yeah, not looking good. Not looking good for him this season. I think he might miss most or all the year. So I'm a little worried about the offensive line. I'm not going to lie, but play action, pre-snap motion will help because at least make it hard on the defense. Don't just line everybody up and have them stand there, and the defense is like, okay, okay, we know where everybody's at. Oh, Arthur Smith in the house. Arthur Smith, I didn't draft any Steelers. How does that make you feel? Not a single Steeler on my team. How do you feel about that? I'm staying away from the Steelers, Arthur. I can't do it with you again. You killed me last year. How many goal line carries for Cordero Patterson this year, Arthur? Who leads the team in goal line carries? Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, or Cordero Patterson? All right, I got to say, I really love this team. Let's take a look at it here. As soon as this last pick comes in from the fantasy guru. All right, well, I had to draft with the fantasy guru. See how we did. Shane Patterson. He might not even be wrong. He might. All right, let's take a look here. All right, so here is my team. Is it up for you? There we go. Let's take a look at it real quick. So I have the elite QBs, Kyler Murray and Derek Carr. Again, took Derek Carr because I got Rashid Shaheed, but I don't mind Derek Carr at pick 204. He'll give me some spike weeks, and he's got a different bye than Kyler Murray, so hopefully he's at least good week 11 when Kyler's on bye. Then I got Gibbs, James Cook at pick 61. That's just, I don't understand. Why is James Cook going so late? Zamir, Rico Dowdle, Bucky Irving's okay. Chuba, I had Chuba, the value was there, right? Like normally go and pick 162. I got him at 181. I think Chuba will start the season as the RB1. I don't know if he'll finish it, but worth a shot there. We got Puka, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin, Rashid Shaheed, Tyler Lockett. Okay, that pick was okay. I don't know. I maybe could have done better on that pick. Dontavian Wicks, Jermaine Burton, Greg Dortch for the stack with Kyler. I like that. Like just lots of upside there. And then we got Laporta, Hunter Henry at tight end. I would be very happy with this draft. Like if we look at the draft board here, I think this just illustrates why I like picking from the turn so much. Can you see the draft board now? Here we go. Where'd my draft board go? So, getting to start Puka, Gibbs is phenomenal. Flowers, getting Laporta, getting like an elite tight end. Godwin, James Cook is the RB2, still getting an elite QB like Kyler. Zamir White, who I think is going to be a workhorse this year, getting that upside with Shaheed, and then, Lockett in the 10th, Wicks. Yeah, I just think drafting from the turn is really, really good. I think it's really, really good. So, all right, guys, there we go. One of my favorite teams so far, no doubt about it. One of my favorite teams. Appreciate everybody being on here. Don't forget tomorrow, dropping the video. Tomorrow is all upside, no risk. I drafted some of the guys on that video. I'll let you try to figure out who it is when you watch the video tomorrow. Sunday, we got league winning wide receivers coming out. And then, of course, we will be here Sunday afternoon to stream another Underdog draft. And yes, as far as I know, Pierre should be with me on that one. So thank you, Andy. Says, nice team. Thank you. I agree. I like this team. Have a great night, everybody. Don't forget, if you want to try out these drafts, if you checked it out for the first time, you're like, that looked like fun. It is. Go to Underdog Fantasy. Join, use our promo code ENDGAME, and when you do, you're going to get up to $250 in bonus cash plus a special pick that you can use on the pick'ems there and do all these drafts. So Enrique says, love your mock drafts. Thank you. Appreciate it, Enrique. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon or evening, wherever you're at, and we'll see you back here on Sunday.